Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. It is a fine, gloomy Saturday here in the Edge of Philly Sports Studios. With me, as always, Joe Marks.
Good morning, Philadelphia.
James Scorza.
What is going on?
Damon Saline.
Happy Saturday cartoons, people.
Frank Finnegan.
I can't believe Damon beat us in.
Joe
Is that the news story?
Joe Scorza in the building as well. This is my submarine of companions, as we'd like to say. Hopefully, we don't implode here early on the program. Too soon? Too soon.
Joey.
Usually, I'm the one with the bad joke.
Oh, my God. I know.
Good grief.
I told you I was full of piss and vinegar this
Good to
morning.
see you, T.
Good to see you gentlemen as well. It's nice to
Yes, sir.
nice to have everybody in studio on time, which is weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a new season.
Well,
So I like
It's a
it.
new day. Having all
new
five
season.
of us here is
It's a treat.
Yeah,
It's a nice treat here.
we can really get out the cutlery and kill each other.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen today, I'm sure. So, a nice win over the Mets yesterday at Phil's.
Very nice.
It was
Always
nice to watch. I was sitting at the bar at Marty McGee's when Kyle Schwarber decided to not lace up a hole in the middle of his glove, and the ups and downs of a baseball season are many. Obviously, just due to the fact that you have 162 games. But how does that win over the Mets? Because I know the Mets are beneath us in the standings, but quite a bit. But that win yesterday, because the Mets are, they've been like the Marlins have for the years. The Mets have had our number. Does that win make you feel a little better, even though we lost 2 to the Braves, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if we could take this series, that would be huge. We've lost the 7 straight series to the Mets. So, they have had our number, even though they always met at the end of the season anyhow. But the idea that taking the first game means that it's more favorable that you can take the rest of the series, and especially with Wheeler going on Sunday, I believe. Like that is definitely a huge plus.
So who starts today?
Christian Sanchez.
So we have a bullpen game.
Well, he's going 3 or 4 innings. So
we have a bullpen game.
But he's going against Max Scherzer.
Great.
Yay!
That ain't gonna be. That's awesome.
So
listen. And the good news is we're not going to be facing Verlander. Usually the Mets have Verlander.
We don't have a problem with Verlander. I mean, we're playing in Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, Verlander's predictable as a pitcher. You just have to wait him out.
He's not the same Verlander.
No, he's not. No, he's
days of yore.
No,
either.
Scherzer's a different story, and you can't go at Scherzer with a freaking bullpen game. The Phillies are going to get their asses kicked.
There's a good chance that that's going to be the case, unless the bats somehow come alive.
Well, like I said in my article
with the
Braves and Phillies series, I said that the inconsistency of this offense, I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise for that postponed game on game 2 of the Braves series, because they got to make it up in September, which those games will matter more anyhow. But if this team's offense doesn't become more consistent, that doubleheader games in September might become irrelevant. I mean, they have to right the ship. I mean, and not just right the ship where they have a 10-run explosion of a game, but they have to have consistent good games offensively. I mean, you have other teams that I feel like have less talent in their lineup that are stringing together 8-10 game winning streaks. We need to do the same.
I mean, a lot of people. The Phillies haven't played bad baseball over the last 20 or so games, though, Joe. A lot of people would kind of counter what you're saying.
No, they've done what they needed to do in June after their once again slow start.
Right.
I thought they needed to win a minimum of 15 games this month, and they already have.
Right.
If they can find a way to get close to 20 wins, then they're going to put themselves in a really good position for a wild card spot. There's no way they're overpassing the Braves.
No, I can't see that happening.
Even though the Braves are having serious pitching problems, that team just keeps rolling. They're just dynamite. They're just a really good team.
You know, the idea that the pitcher Bryce Elder for the Braves, I mean, that's like their fourth starter, and he pitched pretty well against the Phillies. And when you have your fourth starter really kind of holding this offense at bay, that's where I kind of start to, be concerned because okay, so we have been playing well for the last 20 games, and I get that. But I also look at like the opponents that we're facing, the pitchers that we're facing. We're facing Oakland, who their pitchers are inadequate to say the least.
Right.
Their batters are subpar. And then you look at like the Diamondbacks, and that team is still trying to right their own ship.
They're playing damn good baseball this year.
Well, yeah, in comparison
I
to
mean,
past
they are
years.
leading their division, correct?
I'll let you know.
I think so.
They're first in their division.
Yeah, they are.
They're playing damn good baseball.
I'm not saying that they're
You
not.
beat the Diamondbacks at home. You've done something.
No, I get.
You
And
know,
they struggled
and the
against the
argument
Diamondbacks as
that the Phillies have played weaker opponents fails with me because guess what? The Braves play the same opponents that the Phillies play. You know,
I'm just talking about the last 20 games.
okay, that's fine. But my point is, you can't pick the guys that are
I
on the
know.
schedule in front of you.
But-
and you should, if you have spent the money on the team that they
However-
spent, you should beat the hell out of the team.
However, when you have a homestand like the Phillies have, you shouldn't come in to that homestand like silent. And I feel like the Phillies did.
What,
And-
playing against the Braves?
yeah.
The Braves silence everybody.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the
You
Phillies
know,
came
I
into
mean,
that series
look-
silent because they had come off. They
Yeah, they
won,
came off a really good
7-1.
Braves
They-
have
they
the
were-
second best record in baseball
Yeah,
behind
they
the
were
Rays.
7-1.
I don't consider. I mean, look, did the Phillies blow the game the other night? Yeah, the second game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. But I don't look
Diamondbacks have the fourth best record in baseball.
Right. They beat two good teams.
and only because the Diamondbacks have come back to earth a little bit with their wins. But for the first month and a half of the season, they probably had the second or maybe the top
Maybe
winning
third.
percentage
And at the
in
time
league.
the Phillies beat them, the Diamondbacks were playing well, and the Phillies
Yes,
have
they were.
and the Phillies have struggled in Arizona in the past. The other thing
Yeah.
you had to look at,
It was very encouraging, and
Although-
I don't give any credence to the fact that they beat the Oakland, but everybody's supposed to beat Oakland.
Oh,
yeah. And the other thing to look at, although that second Braves game they lost, I mean, Aaron Nola looked good.
Yeah.
Gave up 0 runs, 2 hits during that stretch. I mean, it was Schwarber. Schwarber owned up to it. He talked about it after the game, but
He's not there for his defense.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I wanted to ask James this question too, but so basketball, baseball, and football seem to use analytics, and to me, and I could be wrong, hockey seems like it's the only sport that doesn't do it.
You can't.
I don't think hockey is like analytical material.
It's not applicable.
Okay,
It's not applicable.
So
I
no, that's fine. That's great. Go ahead, Shane. I'm sorry.
no. I mean, like analytics in baseball, it's I just still don't understand it.
Analytics in any sports, I don't understand. I know Frank.
Yeah, I don't
know
understand
Frank,
it in
you're
football
supportive
either.
of it, but to me,
Well, no,
it's based.
it's not that I'm
I know you said
supportive of it.
I know
It's
you
just,
said
I mean,
this is
it's
the way
good.
it is, but here's the problem with it. It's based off of what someone did previously.
Right.
Everyone has a different diet in this planet. Everyone has a different way of dealing with things, and to solely base coaching or managing the game off of some numbers is ridiculous to me.
Yes, you're
It makes
absolutely
no
correct.
freaking sense.
You're absolutely
That
correct.
doesn't mean. Let me say that doesn't mean if I say I have I'm just trying to Harper up there, and I know on 0-2 counts Harper likes to chase a high fastball. So if I know that, yeah, I'm going to play that, but I'm not going to go into my game plan 70% analytics and 30% feel, and that's the problem. Like if someone raised a good point. If you know Schwarber struggles in that situation, why not remove him from the lineup, Frank?
So
You
one of
can't
the
remove him
things
Why not?
to kind of like
Because
chime in-
it's June.
No, I'm saying no.
There's no analytical common sense. What he doesn't do.
No. Let me rephrase it. Remove him from the lineup during that game. Like at that moment, we're about to hit extra innings, and I know he struggles in the outfield. Maybe I sit him. Maybe
You
I
mean
sit him.
sit him in the eighth?
Yeah, maybe I sit him.
in a one-run game.
Maybe.
No.
Because his back could make the difference.
That's right.
I
if
get
he's
that, but
back
his
up in the lineup.
defense cost me
Well,
a
you
game.
don't know. Yeah, but you don't know before that ball is hit that the ball's going to get hit to him.
Yeah,
That's
but
not the first time.
that's
I understand that, but that's
So if
that's
I'm
the
going
price.
off analytics,
Look,
right?
that's the price you got to pay. That's the price you got to
See,
pay for a 40 home run guy.
that's
That's not
revisionist
analytics.
history too.
Dude, that's not analytics.
That's revisionist history.
Analytics would have said take him out of the game.
Well,
okay?
let me give you one prime. let me give you one prime example of a player that bucked the system for analytics. And if you just look at numbers, this is a bad strategy. Is Spencer Strider is known for his fastball, and during the Harper at bats, Harper was looking for his fastball. He was
time.
feasting
That's why he
on
struck
it.
out. That's why he struck
But
out with 3 straight
All
swings.
Strider did was throw him off speed stuff,
Off pitches. Yes.
and he knew he was
Good point,
he
Joe.
knew Harper was looking for it.
Sure.
So analytics tells you he's going to throw a fastball.
Yeah.
He throws his fastball over 65% of the time. He's going to throw you a fastball. So if you go up at an at bat and say, I'm basing my at bat that I'm going to get a fastball because he throws it 65% of the time.
Right.
That is a foolhardy move. That's a foolhardy strategy. You got to go up there and see ball, hit ball. Like that's what I think. I think if you base your strategy around numbers alone, you're being foolish.
Well, yeah, I
agree.
totally agree with that. If you base everything on analytics, you're going to lose. That being said, analytics has its place. I mean, I was a catcher. When I was a catcher, I would know the opponents that I was facing and be able to position the guys in the field based on how I wanted to pitch to them, how I wanted my pitcher to pitch to them. And I mean, that's analytics. Okay.
It is, but it isn't. to me.
No, it's absolutely analytics without a computer. I'm just and I mean, Realmuto does.
So you bring up. So you were a catcher, but you knew so you did your homework. You studied certain things.
Yeah.
Right?
So the percentage in my head was this guy coming up likes the ball in this position, but I'm going to put it over here because I know when he hits on this side of the plate, it's going to left field, and the left fielder's going to get it.
I don't think that's the way analytics is
Yeah,
done today.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
that's more of
today.
Being diligent. That's
Right.
not.
No,
No,
see,
KYP is knowing your opponent.
That's Stone Age analytics. It really is. It's the catcher paying percentages to how he's pitching opponents, and that is analytics. They literally get a computer and they go, okay, the percentages say this is going to happen. So let's move the guy 2.5 steps. Wait, 1 more inch. There you go, right there. The percentages say that 80% of the time the ball's going to come right to you. You don't have to move. So that's analytics cut in its extreme. Okay.
The problem
with it is that analytics led to the shift, which led to baseball becoming extremely boring. That's why they took
too much. It's already a thinking man's game.
No, they took thinking out of it.
But I'm saying it's already thinking with as far as strategy. We agree with that, right?
Yeah, they
so now
took
you
thinking out of
compounded it with the analytics to where like you tell Bryce, not Bryce, who's out of the lineup?
Reese.
Excuse me. I mean, they had Reese Hoskins twisted with all the analytics. Oh, you need to hit this launch angle over here, Joey. Aim towards Kelly Drive.
It destroyed.
Trying to hit a baseball.
Listen,
it destroyed Kinnery.
I think that Mike Schmidt is a very educated baseball player.
Yeah.
And he said on air, and I completely agree with him, the whole concept of launch angle is BS.
Oh, yeah, it's completely BS. Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be about, well, if you uppercut the swing, your launch angle goes
I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I was his biggest fan. I grew up watching. I had 300 level seats right on third base for the entirety of Mike Schmidt's career. Okay. And Mike Schmidt, in the early part of his career, his launch angle was up until Charlie Lau got a hold of him. And Charlie Lau taught him, don't hit up, hit down on the ball. And he goes, but that's going to cause ground balls. He goes, no, with your swing, if you're hitting down on the ball, it's going to cause backspin on the ball, and the ball's going to go out. Well, he wound up winning MVPs on that.
Yeah.
Okay. and
Makes
and
sense because he had a bit of a crouch in his stance.
he did,
right?
Yeah,
No one
Well,
talks
that
about
matters
he had a,
too.
he had
Like
a,
Pete Rose had a significant crouch. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but Mike Smith.
Mike
wasn't
Smith, but Mike
defined
Smith's
it.
swing was it wasn't like Greg Luzinski's. Greg Luzinski's was more.
Yeah,
Greg Luzinski was more.
up and out.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree though,
Up and
Frank,
out.
Yeah.
that your swing through for your bat depends on how far you're choked up on it. Because if you're choked up on it pretty high, if you go under it too much, you're just gonna pop it up.
Too. A lot of guys
Right.
don't choke up as much. As
Yeah.
too. It's a loss of art.
Yeah.
So
A lot of guys don't choke up as much.
getting back to the analytics thing, there are teams out there that are ruled by it, and, and they're never going to win.
Clintack was definitely his whole.
Well, he
deal.
ruined it. He ruined the Phillies. He ruined the. He ruined the
come
Phillies
in with my Brown.
He drafted.
degree for
I mean,
baseball.
Look, it happened to the Eagles for a little bit.
knock
It happened to the Eagles for a little bit. The Eagles trusted Jeffrey Lurie trusted his son's friend from Yale, and they literally made draft picks. J.J. Whiteside,
Yeah,
based on this guy's reach analytics. You know, his target angle, and I mean, you know, where did that get them?
I'm sorry, man.
And then now they've changed and they've gone, you know what? I'm going to let my eyes do the work.
Thank you.
And what did that reap us?
Thank you.
What did that reap us? It reaped us an offensive line that's going to be the Georgia Bulldogs reborn. You know, defensive line.
Yeah.
You know, so let your eyes do the work. And the kid that's in the minor leagues right now for them, Justin Crawford,
yeah, it's coming up,
is definitely the first wave of the non-Clintac minor leagues.
Is he coming up?
Not yet. I don't think they should rush him yet.
What do you guys think about them playing in London next year?
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
It's all right.
I mean,
is this gimmicky? Is it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
What's it for?
It depends because it's like, well, yeah, that being
Did
said,
anybody happen to listen to?
Not like baseball at 9 a.m.
Did anybody happen to listen to Gargano's
did
show
we learn
yesterday
that
when
the
they did
first
the
time
vault?
with the Eagles in London?
I listen to the Gargano
They did
show
too.
every
They
day.
Did you listen to the vault?
Yeah.
When they put the Lou Gehrig
Lou
thing on?
Gehrig thing, yeah.
And they asked Lou Gehrig in the interview, "What do you think about night baseball?" You know what the first thing he said? Puts money in the owner's pockets. It's a gimmick.
Yep.
I mean, like anything that they do.
Baseball at 9 a.m.
I mean, that's why they play Thursday night football. It's I mean, it's
a
all
money
about
grab.
it's a money grab. That's why they play 17
That's why
games
they
and
put
they
the Phillies on Apple TV on Friday.
yeah,
I can't get
it's
it.
all a money
Yeah.
grab. It's all
Well, yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, they have a Black
you have
Friday
Apple on
game
your
this
phone?
year.
that's the reason why.
After Thanksgiving.
That's why
First Black
MLB
Friday game.
Yeah.
That's why MLB is
Think so.
diversifying the streaming services that they're using, because Apple TV is probably paying them more money than they
Yeah, but
deserve
it's a waste,
to,
man.
to air
Well,
just a few games.
Facebook broke that mold 2 years ago.
No, YouTube TV broke that mold.
Yeah.
Because YouTube, they aired YouTube games on YouTube, like live stream, and then Facebook glommed onto that, and then YouTube and all these other platforms started to go, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and
I
if you-
bet I could
and
I
if you-
could make a lot
but
of
And
money.
if you
that.
turn around and you follow it back, it all goes to the owner's pockets.
Yeah, and it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
away from like unless like Big Joe said he had Apple on his.
My
on
mom
his
was
computer.
pissed last night.
Yeah, it's a lot of older people that calls up Gargano's show and they're like, or other shows, not just his, but others. They're like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore.
My mom was
who has Apple TV? Everyone
my mom
was
was a 27-year season ticket holder. Okay, she's a 96-year-old woman in an assisted living facility and lives for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Okay, and called my son last night, who she calls every single night, especially when there's a game on, and said, "Where's the game?" And he went, "Grandma, you're not going to get the game today."
Yeah.
And she went, "Why not?" He said, "Because it's on Apple TV." She goes, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, buddy. Like when
I have an Apple and I have a TV. What the hell are you talking
Talking
about?
about.
when I would go over to my grandparents' house, that generation,
Yeah.
baseball was life.
Yeah.
To a lot
my
of
grandfather,
folks.
my grandfather was a barber in Philly, right, Brownstone, and I grew up right next door to him. And every single night, my grandfather, if it was raining or drizzly, he'd be sitting on his barber chair in his shop, which was right in front of it was a storefront in the middle of the block, or he was on the step listening to listen to the little transistor radio he got off the Wildwood Boardwalk that he won, like putting a dime down or something.
Wow.
He had it for decades, and my grandfather would literally be asleep on the step, leaning against the side post. And I'd walk up the street after hanging out with my buddies, and I said, "Gramp, what's the score?" he'd wake up and he'd go 3-2 Phils. It's in the 8th. You know,
Wow.
and I mean, like,
Yeah.
and then I would sit down and listen to the rest of the game. I mean, there were years where all you got was the Sunday game,
Mhm.
and maybe you would get a weekday game when they were away. You never got home games on television other than the Sunday game until Prism
true.
came in. Until Prism came in.
Yeah, I remember Prism.
Okay, I mean, everybody listened on the radio. It wasn't, the Phillies were played on the radio, unless you went to the game, which of course, when it was at Connie Mack Stadium, I used to go.
I remember when the old Tocoms, you'd get the Tocom remote and run by people's houses and change the channel on them through the window. You remember the Tocom box?
Nah.
No,
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I do.
See, now, and so Prism,
That was a thing in our
Prism,
neighborhood.
Prism never hit.
Must
Like
have been a great
Prism,
furry thing.
Prism was big in South Philly. Like me and Westfield, we didn't have Prism. We got the wiggly line.
Yeah, but it would depend on what side of South Philly you were on because
Really?
yeah,
East Abroad didn't get Prism.
no, they
Gotcha.
didn't. Right, that was
So that
West
was
Abroad.
so that was not the truth because we were told South Philly Prism.
No,
So
not
everybody
everywhere.
didn't get Prism.
No,
No.
everybody.
No.
Gotcha.
Now
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got the squiggly lines.
You got the squiggly lines and some night stuff that I can't talk about.
Channel 77 and 78.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All
Oh
right.
my God, Pat from Ambler checking in. The jacuzzi is loaded with men. Is hot and heavy this morning. Slide on over. Here comes the Red Rocket. Good morning, fellas.
Oh my God.
Pat finds a way to get himself banned from the program every
Yeah, it's
every
strike
week.
that.
Love you, Pat.
Add some bubbles here, would you please?
Listen. We can talk Phillies forever.
Yeah.
But
Just before you end that conversation,
Yes, go
they
ahead.
need to make a deal for Goldschmidt.
I would love to see
It's
that.
not going to
I
happen
would love
No.
this. It's not going to happen.
No.
because they're already crowded. Because you got Clemens,
You got
don't-
Harper,
you got
Derek
Harper.
Hall.
you got Derek Hall.
Yeah,
Um,
that's already a logjam. You don't
Yeah.
you don't need Goldschmidt to make it
No,
even more
no,
of a logjam.
no.
Reese may come back. I
They
don't
need-
know.
Reese is not coming back. Not till the playoffs.
I don't know, man.
I say you go after Goldschmidt, you trade him Hall. You
No,
keep Harper in at DH because I don't want his arm messed up. I don't want him playing first base and making throws that he shouldn't be making.
I don't need him throwing his
How many
helmet.
throws are you making? At
I don't
first
care
base?
if it's one throw that he
I
has
don't-
to
I don't
throw
need
at
him
100
throwing his
miles an hour.
helmet.
It's too many.
I don't need him throwing his helmet, Joey. He's going to
Mhm.
stretch that arm out again.
Listen.
I didn't like it, Joey.
He's a frustrated hitter right now.
Okay.
Like he's a
It's
frustrated.
okay.
He's a frustrated hitter.
Okay, Joe.
Look, hey, what did I ask
One
you?
thing I know about Harper is he'll figure it out.
What did I ask you last week? I said, "Are you worried about Harper?"
No.
No.
And the
Listen,
answer consensus was
I'm not.
no.
No, I'm not worried
Yeah,
about
worried.
I'm
No,
not worried.
I'm not the
and,
least
and
worried.
he shouldn't be either. He needs to get out of his own head and just relax.
Yeah,
That's
he's only
what I
hitting.
think.
He's only hitting 300, James.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
bad elbow.
He's just not hit. He's just not hit with power. He's
He
just
just-
not hitting the
The
ball.
other night that ball shot out, but the wind
Yeah,
tore it
yeah,
down.
That should have been a dinger.
You guys think you'll be hearing more of this year? You think you might be hearing a little bit more of this season?
I don't know. Is anybody getting to New Jersey?
No.
Right? No.
2 years
No.
from now, maybe.
James ordered one. I know you
I
did.
like
You
the New
did it.
Jersey.
James did it.
I-
He ordered one.
So once again,
It's a shocker.
now the Flyers added another former Flyer to the front office in John LeClaire, which
Oh boy.
look, that's
Yay.
my and Joey's era of hockey.
I told
Can
the story last
gonna
week.
do-
somebody please define insanity to me?
Now,
I told the
right,
story
it's the
last week.
definition. It's doing the same thing and expecting different results. It's
Oh.
the definition of
You
insanity.
mean what the Flyers do?
Exactly.
When I
So hold on now.
It's what the Sixers are doing right
If
now. too.
if this project, whatever you want to call it, doesn't work, I never and there was talk about this on Gargano. I never want to see another former Flyer in the front office again. Ever.
I didn't
If
want
this
to see.
doesn't work.
I didn't want to see a former Flyer at the end of this season in the front office.
And
I wasn't happy that they signed Jonesy. I wasn't happy that they brought Briere in, and I'm not happy that they brought LeClaire in. I respect and
And
love
Patrick.
those guys greatly, but I'm done.
They
brought him-
literally
I'm
opened like the Flyers yearbook and were like, give him a call.
Well,
Give him a call.
Yeah.
They also
Well,
brought
and-
in
You know,
they
Patrick
also-
Sharp.
Patrick Sharp,
Yeah.
who he's going to head up more of like the minor league system and
And
what they're doing. down there.
Leclerc's going to be working a lockstep with Briere on
Yep.
talent
Player
evaluation
development.
and player
Player
development. Look, if it
now,
works,
let me ask you a question: How much front office experience do they have?
Combined, about as much as you and me.
That's my point.
Well, you know what? John LeClaire did an interview and he rationalized coming back to the Flyers.
Of course he did.
Yeah, Pat said, remember 74 after 11 p.m. was the Spice Network. The Hammer,
That's right.
the Hammer's favorite channel.
Yeah.
Joey's brother used to hide hustlers in their ceiling. Hustlers and
nice.
Playboys in their ceiling.
I'm going to
Drop
plead the
ceiling.
fifth and move on.
Yeah.
Hopefully Sarah's not listening.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. Anyhow, there was a lot of lube. Let's just put it that way.
God. See, you just did a Trumpism. You just admitted it on open air.
Anyhow,
You said lube.
So, anyhow, so Don LeClaire rationalized him coming back by saying that the reason why they're all ex-Flyers that are coming back is because they want to bring back the culture of the Flyers, like really what it was like to be a Flyer, especially like the passion and the.
Didn't
the
Clark want to
loyalty.
do that?
What's that?
Didn't Clark want to do that?
Yeah, but he wanted to. Yeah.
Didn't Holmgren want to do that?
Yeah.
Hold on, Frank.
Didn't Hextall want
What
to do
will
that?
they, now and don't make it an easy answer.
Okay.
Don't make it a simple answer. What would this team have to do in order for you to buy back in? Don't just say win. What would you need to see in order for you to buy into this front office as currently constructed?
The old style toilets used to have a chain, and you would pull the chain and flush it.
Yeah,
That's what they need to do.
that's where Clemenza hit the gun on top of for Michael Corleone.
There can't be anybody left in that front office that had a P on their chest.
But wait, what if I'm saying what would this front office have to do in order for you to change your mind?
This particular front office,
Change your mind on how you feel about this,
they can't.
even if they make the
It's-
playoffs.
It's
Even
impossible. They're not going to make the playoffs this year.
That's fine.
They're not going to make the playoffs next year.
Mm.
You know,
This team is not. They're 5 years away from being 5 years away. Okay, this team is. I mean,
He said, "Preach."
the guys on the submarine have a better chance than the
Whoa,
Flyers.
Oh, man.
nah.
And you can
another submarine.
you could put the Sixers on the same side.
Whoa.
Done with them too.
Damn.
No.
Done with
Holy
them too.
shit! So what?
You
You
know what?
basically you're just watching the Eagles and the Phils in this
That's it
town.
right now.
Frank, did you eat my breakfast? Like seriously? Wow.
I stole your lunch.
Listen, look.
Thinking.
I know we've gone down this road, but the regime that they brought in when Clarkey was doing it wasn't my Flyers regime. This one is.
Okay, Clarkey
And
was my.
I know he was. So
in mine.
this is my I guess my last. Okay, all right. You got me. I see. I might be more naive than Frank. You got me, but you're going to have to show me something. I'm going to have to see improvement this year. If
Yeah,
you don't make the playoffs, you better be in the
I
mix.
actually
Tommy,
like it. I
This
actually
is like 12 years.
I know.
no, but
12
I
years
more
or
than
20
that.
I
More
actually
than that.
like it because here's the thing. I get it with the guys who used to play for the Flyers, but Jonesy is well known throughout the league. And I know that may not mean much now, but it seems like they have a plan. They have a plan.
Everybody's got a plan until you get punched.
In the
Hey,
mouth.
Briere,
Look at Mike Laro checks in. Good morning, guys. I see Frank is off his meds again about the Flyers. Yo, Mike, happy belated birthday, brother.
yeah.
Happy birthday, my friend.
I was
Happy
never on my meds. Mike.
Yeah.
He's hiding them under his tongue, and then when he goes in the bathroom, he's
Try to
flushing.
spit them right out.
So Tom, I told him the story that when we
Fox
worked at
the brand.
FedEx. I delivered to John LeClaire's house out on Harrington, and he was not very nice, very nice. I know it was him because his name was on the box. Opened the door. Hey, LeClaire, boom, boom, boom. So listen, you have to give it a chance because at least they have a plan. They've already made a trade. They got some picks. It's going to take some time. No team other than the Sixers like to say we're rebuilding. No one likes to say, but even our beloved Eagles rebuilt the team right before our eyes.
Yes, they did.
'Cause So every team has to go through it. I get the frustration, but when you see them clearly coming in with a plan, and yes, it has to be executed, Joey. I get it. No doubt about that. You have to give them a little bit, a bit of a chance. But I get it.
Frank's
So,
not giving
I get
him
it. I get it.
So,
How many? I'm done giving chances.
That's fine.
So,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
done
fine.
giving chances.
That's fine.
Here's the
I
thing.
get it.
I
But when they
feel,
win, you'll be back. You'll be back.
I feel
You'll be
like
back.
Tom does.
Maybe.
Like this is again like me and
Jonesy and Briere are not original Flyers, but
That's
they
not
spent
the point,
they
Mike.
spent the bulk of their career.
Mike,
here.
Yeah, they're Flyers.
Mike, that's
They're
not the
they're
point.
Flyers,
They're
Mike.
Flyers.
Jonesy's
Come on.
known more as a Flyer than anything.
But Jonesy and
He's not,
Briere,
he's not known as a capital.
He's a Flyer.
but Jonesy and Briere decided that they want to come here. Briere said could have went anywhere, and he
chose Philly.
decided to come to
I could
Philly.
have gone anywhere, but I went
Right.
to Temple.
Leclerc wasn't an original Flyer either. He was a Montreal Canadian.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
But
right,
Gary
buddy.
Desjardins too.
But
Is
and
that
Patrick
correct?
Sharp went to Chicago
right.
and won a bunch of cups. Now
Right.
I'm going to get into that. So the one thing that kind of sticks out to me with these four men is that in some way, shape, or form, there's a winning pedigree that they all bring to the table. Differently, but
Right.
they all bring some sort of winning pedigree to the
Facts.
table.
Facts.
So maybe, just maybe, because they already know how to win, they can build a team. Now I'm still with Tom.
Again, Mike,
Like, my-
Jonesy's known for being a Flyer. Whether he spent more time there or not, some people are just known for being in this
My
town.
point is that I'm still with Tom.
Don't be technical, Michael.
And he's been in radio from this town for the last
Yeah.
20
Yeah,
years.
He
He's
lives here. He's a Philadelphian,
He's a
Mike.
Philadelphia.
And
Yeah,
so,
relax.
He has his
like,
own
I'm
voices.
still with Tom that I'm still grading these guys.
Sure,
on
that's
on
fair.
every
That's
action
that's
that they
fair.
do.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt only because they all have
But-
a winning pedigree.
But Joey, not to
behind
cut you off,
Bobby
Jonesy-
Clark had a
Jo-
winning pedigree. He won
Jonesy's
two
already,
cups in his
and-
time.
Jonesy's already talked about building the line.
Frank has a point.
No,
He's already talked about building.
Bill Barber had a winning pedigree.
Blue on the
Won two
on the
cups
line.
in his-
Under Bobby Clark, though, we went to 2 cups.
Yeah,
we
you
may
did.
not have won them,
Yeah, you
Well, we
did.
No, he won 2 cups. He won 2 cups.
right? But he under his watch,
Management.
they
went
at
those-
least went back to the
The
Stanley
championship.
Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened?
Once.
Well,
And
Well,
then
they
what
ran
happened?
into the Russian 5 with Detroit, and then they got
Why?
why?
Why what?
I'm gonna make a statement and see if you remember. We don't need no Brendan Shanahan on this team. Tell you. That was Bobby Clark's statement.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I do remember that.
Brendan
Excuse
Shanahan-
me. The best freaking center in the league. We don't need him on our team. It's
I
like
do
it's
remember
like what happened last year,
I'm
dude.
not going to excuse what Bobby Clark's ignorance.
In
brings
my
to the
opinion,
table.
that cost them a Stanley
could've
Cup,
they could've
maybe
gotten him.
2.
They could've
One
gotten him.
player doesn't.
Bull crap.
One
That
player
That
doesn't-
guy made a difference on that team, and you can't say he did.
I think Yzerman had a lot more to do with it.
Yeah,
Fedorov,
maybe Sergei Fedorov. too.
Sergei Fedorov.
Look, I mean, the team was
The Flyers had a good enough
Darren
team to
freaking
get there and
McCarty,
play those
too.
guys, right? You think Brendan Shanahan might have had an impact on the Flyers winning that series?
Eric
You think
Lindros
maybe?
never kept his head up, Mike. He always skated with his head down. That's why I used to get laid out by guys like Kasperitis,
And Stevens.
Kasparov and Scott
Stevens. Yep.
Yeah, I think Frank really
Matthew
Barnaby. Yep.
Barnaby,
Matthew Barnaby.
Yeah.
Kovalev.
Oh, my
Alex
God.
Kovalev.
Talk about hate the face.
Yikes.
But no, I honestly feel now I get where Frank's coming from because Frank is a much more jaded Flyer.
Yeah, I
fan
like.
than all of us.
There's
That's what I
There's
was trying
more
to say.
years
It's not
behind
that I'm jaded. I've just seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it all. I've seen it all with the Phillies. I've seen it all with the Flyers. I've seen it all with the Sixers. I've seen it all with the Eagles. I mean, I've been here forever. You know,
Can I ask you why do you still watch?
I can't help myself. I'm a Philadelphian.
That's exactly right.
I can't.
You're
I
a
can't help
glutton for
myself.
punishment. That's what it is.
I can't. I'm not
Because
happy.
on that off
Look.
chance that a 2008 or
I am-
2017 happens,
Like every other Philadelphian,
We're
I
74,
am
74.
I am genetically predisposed
We're
to
70
keep my expectations low.
We're 73 or 74. It may redeem himself. It's a long time.
it's embedded in
Look
your
at that man.
DNA.
It's embedded in all our DNA.
Yeah, it is.
It's.
Listen,
I mean, it's why we have our opinions
the
about
two-
New
why
York
we're
and Boston.
sitting
Why we
here
and
do
right
the
LA.
show. It's there.
we're all glutton for punishment because for the 2 teams that reside at the Wells Fargo Center, both teams have not won a championship in 40 and 50 years.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah,
So
we
what else?
are all a glutton for punishment.
Oh wow! Wait a minute.
So let me ask you.
Yeah, it is
Joe.
40 years for the Sixers, isn't it?
Yep.
Yikes!
2023. 2023. Look, if I know, like it's like the one side of my brain says, dude, don't get duped again.
Yep.
Don't get duped again. And the other side of my brain is like, that was it.
Look, I love Jonesy. I love Leclerc. I love Danny Briere. I love them all.
I love them as
I love
players.
Bobby Clark. I love Holmgren. I love Hextall. I just get the frig out of my front office.
Yeah.
Tom, you
Come back for alumni games.
Beer's on me.
You brought up something earlier. You're playing old Nintendo games. So
yes. So
you-
now I'm living in the past.
yeah, so your
Like the
nostalgia for what you loved when you were younger has come
Full circle.
breach into the surface. You're waiting for Jeremy Roenick to strap up the skates and go back out on the ice.
Oh man,
So
My favorite hockey player ever.
Li-
it's what? Yeah,
listen,
mine too.
Well,
I have
it's
over.
like
It's
a
the
lefty
only
jam
Flyers
up on
jersey
you,
I own.
too.
Same. No, not the only.
Yeah.
I remember. Joey is my witness. He was with me. We're at the gallery. I was waiting for Modell's to open.
Right.
Once he was signed to get, because I found out that they were the only one Modell's that had his jersey at that point, and I dropped the coin for that jersey and still have it somewhere floating around.
Yeah, I still got mine. I still wear it once in a while.
I mean that's the thing is we're
He
all
was a great player.
I loved him in Chicago. So
Chicago
when he came to
Blackhawks.
when he came to
He
the
was a player.
Flyers,
He was a beast.
I remember him more with the Coyotes more than
because
ever.
you're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
of
you're
course
young.
I am.
He
Of course
was
I
the
am.
Coyotes.
Baby. He's not young.
Him and
He's a
Teppo
baby.
Newman.
He did 3 years.
Got to change his diaper after the show.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we'll do it when we
Hey,
change
you're on
yours.
fire today, man.
yo, he's
Not
he-
excuse me.
he's
It's
not
not diapers anymore. It's the pens.
He's not that young
Sorry.
because it's been as long as
Cowboy
James
tour.
been alive since Cowboys
Right.
have won anything of
Roger that.
importance. How do find a way to take a jab at the Cowboys when you're talking Flyers? That's when you know you got a
Speaking
Philly
about
Sports
Cowboys,
podcast.
there was a guy on Twitter this week, Foot something or other, who tried to say that Devontae Smith was not a top 10 wide receiver.
yeah. when
Okay.
reports coming out of OTA is the guy looks like a friggin' freak.
No. And then there was an Eagles fan that said, okay, if he's not a top 10 wide receiver and he puts up the stats of the top 10 wide receivers in the league and he's 9, he goes, explain that.
But who is on your part with Dallas?
Yeah, and there was only one. There was only one receiver from Dallas on that list, and there were 2 from the Eagles.
Yep.
4 and 9.
So Frank's out on the Flyers until they empty the front office. Look, this is the last time I'll say this is until they, But I'm in. I wasn't in until
I gotta trust my
Yeah,
gut.
yeah,
they sucked me in one more time.
They got a lot of show me.
The other thing,
They got a lot of show me to do.
the other thing I think people have
I mean,
to
I'm
look
still
at-
going to love them, but they
the
got
other-
to show
it's-
me.
I don't think they're going to
don't
be
believe
as
in
bad as people think. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs next year, but with
They're not
Tortorelli in there,
making
they're going to be a lot.
They're not
better
making
team
the playoffs.
because he's going to have an input with those guys.
Yeah, he did it this year. He had an impact.
Nah, but
I think they
I'm-
played better
I'm saying-
hockey than they did the year before.
No, but
sure.
I'm saying,
Yeah, they definitely could have got a better draft pick if Tortorella wasn't the head coach,
Oh my God, yeah.
or had a better chance to get a better draft pick.
I get why he didn't want to put that type of culture out there. He's like, no, we're going to play, and also is going to weed dudes out who's not.
It's funny you should say that.
Yeah, we'll get there. I know you're still stuck with. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Yeah, all right. So
all good.
So listen.
Yeah, there we go. Bring it on.
Are you okay with the possibility of Harden coming back? Because it
I don't
sounds.
wa- I don't want to.
I know you don't, but it sounds like it's a real possibility that he could be back, maybe on a 2-year deal.
I don't think he's coming back.
I mean,
There's nowhere else he's going.
Where is he going now? Now
Nobody
the whole
wants him.
Houston
It's
thing's
31
fizzling
other,
out.
31 other teams.
Nobody wants him.
I don't believe that.
Nobody
believe
wants him.
I
They're
don't
going to
believe-
sign him.
I don't
back.
believe that a little bit. Somebody wants somebody. Chris Paul just went to the Warriors. I mean, no, someone wants somebody. It's a matter of what type of money he's asking for. I wouldn't bring him back, but
Yeah, and here's the
the
thing.
word on the street is Nick Nurse doesn't want him, but Morey does. But Nick Nurse, believe it or not, likes Tobias Harris,
That's why Tobias wasn't moved pre-draft.
and he shouldn't have been moved.
Pre-draft.
Shouldn't
Like
have been
everyone
moved.
thought he was going to be traded before the
I
draft.
thought the only thing they should move Tobias Harris for was for an upgrade at the position.
Like what? Like
Somebody more athletic and younger.
Well, I
Yeah,
still
I agree
thought
with
it
that.
was.
I'm fine with Tobias
Pascal
Harris.
Siakam.
That's who I thought it was going to be.
That's he's going to use him in that role. He's going to use because you're not see what people have to get with Tobias. I get it, the contract. We pounded it to the hole.
I'm not worried.
I
about
know.
it.
I'm not saying you,
Yeah.
but I'm on face people every day. Well, you mean Maury's not doing it?
At today's rate, it's a bargain.
So I raised the question. Everyone's mad because Maury didn't make a deal. Okay. Do you want Bill's contract, who's often injured?
$50 million.
Who's often injured?
$50 million.
Do you want a
Or
Porzingis
overall.
who's better? Who's Porzingis has gotten better, not as often injured, but
Well, now he's
Still-
playing against you.
Still 42.
is there
Several
room for
times a
him
year.
and Joe? We'll never
42
know. But I'm
million.
okay. And do you want a 38-year-old Chris Paul?
No.
Exactly.
I definitely didn't. But
So-
I didn't want Harden either.
So, but I'm saying we don't know. We'll know a week from
I don't mean
today.
didn't. I mean don't want
We'll-
him going forward.
Yeah, we'll know. We'll know less than a week what's going to happen. Within a week's time, what's going to happen. It's 50-50 in my mind. I don't
Look,
know. I don't think he's. I don't think he's
All right,
coming
let me
The
ask you a
number
question,
that's been
Dave.
floated
But I'll
around.
say this.
Let me ask Dave a question.
Hold on, let me just say this. So I think that when you talk about moving to Tobias, he's not a bum.
No,
he just makes a lot of
no.
money, so you can't just give him away.
No.
No.
And that's what people wanted.
No.
No.
I'm not.
That's
I'm not in that
foolish.
camp. I'm not in the
No,
camp.
you
Give
can't.
Tobias
No,
away.
you can't.
No, he's good enough to require value in return.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody younger, a little more athletic, yes. To give him away for nothing, no. He's too good a player for that. But if you're a Sixers fan, like I am, and like the rest of the guys here, and your general manager goes, you know what, we're going to run it back, same thing, same team we did last year. What are your opinions?
So I heard a guy called in to
Because I'm not happy.
I think it might have been T. Will called into Gargano show. It was either T. Will or Black Gritty, and
I think it was T. Will. I think if you're going to touch the call,
and he said he wouldn't mind running it back because the Sixers lost and 7 games to the better team. Embiid got his MVP last year, and I hadn't been on. I hadn't even let my mind really kind of think about it, but I mean, Boston was the better team.
I'm sorry. 4 minutes left in Game 6,
Agreed.
and you shit the bed.
Agreed. They shit the bed, but they shit the bed to a better team.
They had him beat.
Right. So running it back with the team is currently constructed wouldn't be, in I guess in that caller's opinion, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Okay, and you know what? Losing Game 6, yeah, you can get a team to step up and beat you in that situation. But coming out the way they did in Game 7, I'm sorry.
Right.
It's Game 7, and you come out with zero heart. No.
Okay, so if Harden's not here, and I know this is the the question that everybody's who?
I don't know. The guard I want, we can't get. He's supposed to be retiring. That's Drew. So look at a couple of things. Springer's going to get some time. I'm not saying he's going to be the starter because that would be too small of a backcourt, obviously.
Yeah.
I still feel like Donovan Mitchell is out there.
I don't want him a little bit because he's a younger, faster Harden. If you watch him in the playoffs, even with Utah, even with Cleveland, he's about getting his buckets. The Sixers need a put. You know what I would like to see them do, and it wouldn't shock me, but I know if they could pull off to get Brogdon. Because see, Brogdon was part of their trade, but the medical he didn't go through.
Right.
Sixers had a chance to draft him. They was talking about that this
I would
week.
not mind Brogdon at all.
Because you need a point guard.
Yep.
So Frank, the reason why I think they're running it back, and if they could run it back minus Harden, it would be even better. Because forget Game 7. This shouldn't have never even been a Game 7, in my opinion. Right? Game 6, TK, and I told this to Cuz, it's the new Tampa game for me. Because you were not expected to win. You win Game 4 in a dramatic fashion. You go to Boston and win Game 5, which, by the way, was Harden's best game. And people forget, I think either Joe had 33, Maxey had 30, or Maxey 33, Joe 30. But either way, they both had great games. Harden dished the ball. Right? If he does that in Game 6, we are not having this conversation.
We're not.
And so what happened was in those last 3 minutes, and this is why it comes down to coaching, and I defended Doc, but listen, Doc, you look.
Not like he doesn't have a track record.
I just said it to my buddy yesterday. If I'm going to lose as a coach, and this guy's not listening to me, I'm going to take it in my own hands. Either way, I'm going to get fired, TK. If I bench him, I'm going to get fired. If I lose this way with him playing like that, I'm going to get fired. So how about I do this?
Go out on your own accord.
The ball's out of your hands. I'm going to keep Tobias, you're my point forward right now. It goes Joe, Maxey, and then Harden. Harden should have never had that ball for 16 seconds a whop, and he did. And Rivers can go on Bill Simmons all he want, but if I'm Bill Simmons, I would have addressed that. Why did you allow that to happen time after time after time? When you're home on a closeout game, and every other team that had closeouts, won except for the Sixers. So the reason why I believe they're going to run it back because they feel like, and I believe they're not as far off as people think. You want to tweak here, maybe replace George Niang, okay, fine, whatever. But you still have your MVP, regardless of what happened down the stretch. You're going to always be in the top 3 for the next year or two, in regular season, right?
Yeah.
So you have a coach who, James, and I read this about him that really intrigued me. I know he won TK in the D League, won a championship as a D League coach, but he also won over in Europe. So now he's been around the globe. He's seen a lot of basketball.
Now Nick knows how to coach.
And so if he's coaching that game 6,
I think it's a different
we're not
outcome.
having this conversation.
I think it's a different outcome.
We're not having this conversation. And I think that's what they're looking at.
Let me explain.
That's what
I
they're
think
looking
Doc
at.
was way too reactive as a coach and not proactive.
I've said this
Good point.
before, and I'll say
Good
it
point.
again. I've seen all I need to see from James Harden. I feel like if we're talking about nostalgia, I feel like Eminem, will the real James Harden please stand up?
He can't. He's too old.
And here's the thing. I
In his
think
ways.
that he had during the series. I just don't think he wants to do it when it's knuckle up time.
So did you hear Keith Pompey was on with the best show ever? He said it was one game, I think they played the Pacers. Maxey might have dropped 30-something points. And Maxey kept saying to Harden, man, you kept feeding me, man. You kept feeding me. And I tried to get this question to Cuz, but I couldn't get it out. TK, I don't understand if a player knows that, okay, this isn't working, I'm driving, I'm not getting the calls, but if I'm dishing, I'm getting everybody involved. What's wrong with that?
I can tell you what's wrong with that.
Because if young boy's getting off,
Yeah.
right? Tobias should have never had 2 points. That's going on coaching. I'm whatever. And you showed it in game 5. Game in Boston, you dished the ball. Right? We know you gave us 42 or 45 game 1 and 42 game 4. We get it. We know you're capable, but we just didn't need that from you that night. And to Joey's point, it's like I don't trust it. That's why I'd rather just wash my hands to it and find another player.
I've seen all I need to see.
I'm not going to knock his season. He had a great season.
On a single given night, Harden can be an unbelievable player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Harden is incapable of consistently delivering that product.
But what is that about?
It's about him still believing he can beat everybody off the dribble, and he can't anymore. And he doesn't want to accept that.
Frank's right, because if you look at the highlights, he looks slow. He looks slow.
I mean, there are guys out there he can beat because they just can't defend him. Look, we're
Well,
talking about a handful of guys.
Hold on, Frank. You know when you say that, it's actually because he's smarter than him. He's smart.
No,
he's a smart player. He's savvy. That's the savviness.
When he gets to a point guard that's guarding him, that's just as smart.
He's smart.
He can't beat him off the dribble.
And
that's physicality.
You know what you
That's
can't beat?
physical.
You can't beat the deals over at Sherry's Ticket Town.
Well, there you go.
Great prices, no hidden fees,
Maybe
sports,
Harden
concert,
should go there
theater.
buy his next ticket to a Sixers game.
www.sherrystickets.com. If you use the promo code EOP10, save 10% off your order today. Tell them the guys at Pattison Ave and EOP sent you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry.
I mean, here's my
That's how
feeling.
you segue into a commercial.
James Harden. Here's my feeling is that
He doesn't
the
believe he's
rumors of James Harden's contract is 3 years, 110 million.
Yeah, no.
And I'm out
I heard
on that.
164.
And here is
Wait, I am way out on that.
I don't offer him.
Frank would be in more.
Harden. Here's my problem.
Mhm.
How can you convince me as a fan
Mhm.
that there's going to be any difference in the outcome?
Because of the coach.
Because
There's a new coach.
Because of the coach. And then
That's how they'll
Here-
attempt
here-
to convince you.
here's the other thing. Those 3 players they picked up. Now here's the thing. Bobby Jackson, who was a head coach in the G League now down in Sacramento, and then Rico Hines, who's got a good rep. They're good in development, and they're thinking this kid, the fourth. I can't get his last name out.
Paul Reed?
No, the kid they just picked up unsigned draft. One of them doesn't have a jump shot, and
That's helpful.
they think.
Yeah, because we don't need anybody.
We have a guy like that.
But they're thinking they can develop him. They're thinking they can develop him.
They thought that about Fultz too.
Well, he actually turned out to be an okay player.
They
He's
thought that
actually
about Ben
mature.
Simmons too.
Well, that's a different. that's I'm gonna do it my way and be stubborn. But folks actually
That's
turning
the way it's
found out to a
working out.
better player. But you can say that about Maxey. I mean, they're developing him. That's the other reason, Joey, why I don't want Harden back. I feel like he's going to not stunt the growth, but hold up his progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
Yes, it
So-
bothers me too.
Because they say, Nick Nurse wants to run the pick and roll with Maxey and Embiid.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring up
that's a
two
beautiful
names.
thing if
I'm going to
yeah.
bring up two names that are point guards that are going to be free agents. Now, free agency opens up this week.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Well, the first.
Yeah,
of July,
Thursday.
but 30th
So,
of-
Here's the thing.
Better not
I want to possibly bring home Villanova Cats back to Philadelphia.
Harden?
Either Jalen Brunson
he's not coming nowhere.
or Josh
That
Hart.
ain't happening. The Knicks not going to do that. He put them back in the spotlight. That's the last thing they'll do.
Yeah.
That's Joey. Seriously, that's the last thing. He
Wait, we are
literally,
talking about
he,
the
li-
Knicks.
he literally put them back in the spotlight. That's not happening.
So what about
We are
Josh Hart?
talking-
What about Josh Hart?
That's a possibility, but that's just a younger version of PJ Tucker. If you
No,
really break
Hart
it down,
can play point. Hart can run.
Nah,
point.
he can't be your starting point.
yeah,
guard.
you need a Bron.
Not your every
You
day.
call Boston.
He's a 10-minute a night guy.
See, and the other thing is we don't have that many assets.
Yeah, we don't have crap.
No,
Yeah,
we
As Ben
No,
Simmons
I-
on social media, as Ben Simmons pointed out when it was the Sixers draft
Well,
time,
thank you, Ben.
He
It's your fault.
he took a picture of his television that the Sixers didn't have a draft.
Yeah, it's your fault.
I mean,
It's your fault.
when was the last time he got on the court?
Right.
I don't know.
and
Well, that's how you win the
NBA court?
playoffs.
You got to be more specific. NBA
Yeah,
court
NBA
or
court.
The next
rec-
time he should
you-
take a picture of the court that he's not
You
on.
ought to be embarrassed
Yeah, he
in the
should-
weight room again, posting shots.
Well, it's sad that a year later he's still blaming the Sixers.
You know
for that.
what? We
Move
should
on.
we should go to a court. I'll pull my cane out. I'll make
Oh
a jump
my
shot. And someone
God.
could take
Whoa.
a video of that.
Oh my God!
and send it to
Take a
Ben
picture of a blind man making a jump shot. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be classic. I got
Yeah, that's a lot of editing and film time, though, Joey.
That's
in
a-
order for-
You know what? It's worth it. It's worth it.
That's a lot of
It is
editing.
worth it. I'll tell you what.
No,
Nah,
I mean, listen,
look,
I get everybody's frustrated.
Change the coach doesn't.
That's fine. That's fair. But
Say
I,
I would
They
do
did-
that if
they
we
did
get to spin Joey around 5 times and then let him fucking
yes, whatever. The old Buddy Ryan workout,
You
right?
know,
The
I
old
mean,
Buddy
get a
Ryan.
couple of 30 packs and sit
Yo,
there and wait for
The old
Joey to-
Buddy Ryan training camp. They used to spin him around. make the guys spin
Right.
around.
I like Nick Nurse. I think he's a great coach, but Nick Nurse doesn't
Doesn't move
play.
the needle
He
for
doesn't.
What?
No,
about-
it's not that. He doesn't play the game. He's
What
not out
about-
there on the floor. Yes, he can strategize, but that's what they brought Doc in for.
What about a Van Vliet? Now you're talking about a point guard that Nick
Too
Nurse
small
is
of a
working with.
backcourt.
Yeah, but you know
And
what?
Defensive liability.
Yeah, but you know what? That kid knows how to point guard.
No, he does. I'm not disputing that. I actually I brought it up. Like maybe we should look at him, but then I thought about it. It's gonna be
They
interesting.
would be small. They would be small, but
I mean,
I think first of all he would utilize Maxey's abilities better than Harden did. I really do. I think.
Well,
he would-
let's be clear. Height doesn't mean much in the NBA because Ben Simmons versus Trey Young, and somehow Ben Simmons gets scared of Trey Young.
but when you have
You're not going to ask
when
Van
you have-
Fleet to go to the hole.
Yeah, and then it puts more on Joe to guard the rim because he's got to cover for those guys.
Shocker! I want a 7-foot guy guarding the rim.
Nah, but I'm saying like
Wait, I don't want him. I don't want him 30 feet out.
I got to cover. He's got to cover. He's got to cover those dudes as well.
Yes, and JoJo is capable of doing that. He's
No,
an,
I'm not
he's an
saying he's not. He's
incredible
done it.
defender.
He's
He's
done
an-
it.
you-
But I mean, I don't want to make it easier. Listen, if they got Van Fleet, I'm not going to be upset. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, it has to be a guard out there, somebody that we just not seeing. I think Morey, and he has a way of pulling off something. He got rid of Horford's contract. That's enough. That told me a lot.
Yeah, and
right
look
there.
how that helped us.
He got rid of his contract.
Let me
Horford
tell you
hasn't done
something. Horford was a plant.
anything. He was.
He was a plant.
He
Look,
was here.
I am
Yep.
still of the
No, I don't mean a
opinion-
plant.
He means as
I
a
mean,
spy.
he was a spy.
Spy.
He's a secret
I know
squirrel.
what you meant. It was a spy.
See,
Didn't even grow yet.
where you say he got rid of Horford's contract,
Uh-huh.
I also feel like he now straddled us with PJ Tucker's contract.
I like
and
PJ
Daniel
Tucker.
House.
I like PJ. And you know
PJ
what?
can stay.
The PJ Tucker contract doesn't.
No, he ain't getting
That's
that much.
starters' money. That's the way that league is. Do you think Rudy Gobert, after watching him in the playoffs, is worth the money he's getting?
Oh hell no!
That's my point.
How many guys in this league are actually worth the money they're getting?
probably
Not a lot.
65% of them
I would
is
say
not
5%.
worth it.
Right.
I would say 5% is worth
Worth the money
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
getting.
Literally,
yeah, maybe
I'm going to say
5%.
5% is
That-
worth the money they're
And
getting.
and,
Exactly.
and what determines what makes them worth
And
money?
what determines the worth?
Well, no,
Productivity,
what
I
is-
would assume.
No, what determines it is how many asses do they put in the seats.
Right. It's like a wrestler.
You know,
Yeah.
So
like
you-
LeBron, as old as he is, can fill every arena in the league every time he goes to any arena.
So Chuck.
For now.
So the Sixers were the second highest draw.
20 years now.
The Sixers were the second highest draw to the Lakers when Chuck played
Yeah.
because he's
He
what
was
we,
a-
he's what we call
marquee
a
player.
must see. I call him must see
Yeah.
players.
Yeah, he's a marquee guy.
So when people talk about this, I'm not. No, there are only a handful of must see players in my era. Doc was one. Magic was one.
Jordan.
Bird was a must see.
Jordan.
Jordan was a must see. Then it became AI,
Right.
Kobe,
Right.
and LeBron.
Vince Carter.
No.
Yeah, but no.
Vince Carter wasn't a must see. He was a great,
Like
great to
for
watch.
you- for you-
He was
for you,
great to
he
watch.
wasn't.
He was great to watch, but he wasn't a must see.
For you,
Yeah,
he was.
like must sees are just like, yo, he's in town. I'm going to the game
Yeah.
tonight.
I'm speaking for
Like,
us.
that's
I
like,
know.
and I'm not saying Vince, but those they're special.
It goes Jordan 1, Carter 2 for me. So that's why for
you
me,
put them in there.
I'm not,
No, that's
no,
not
for
wrong.
me, for me.
No,
Yeah.
that's not wrong. You're not
just
wrong.
one of my favorite guys to watch.
I just think when you talk about the impact of the game,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
it's a handful of those
Yeah,
dudes.
I mean, he's not filling arenas around the league.
Right.
You know, that's what we
He
were-
would
that's what
he
we're
would
talking
draw me in, but we're
right.
talking overall.
Right.
You know, people who don't know anything about basketball would go see Jordan, Bird.
Right.
You know, had no real interest in basketball, would
Right.
go see those guys.
No, but you had to say you saw him play.
And the thing about Bird and Frank knows is with Bird and it was Bird and his team because
Yes.
the Celtics, even though we hated them,
Oh my God!
but they were a team to watch. Like
Yeah,
I remember
God.
my mom, we had great seats behind the court with Parrish, McHale, and Bird, and they were just so dirty, nasty players, man. They were great.
See,
McHale in the quiet.
I was
I
there
like
tonight.
Kevin McHale because of those shoulders, man.
I
But
was there tonight.
but I
That,
couldn't root for his
that
Celtics.
Tony came back from his first foot
Ah,
injury.
yeah, he went off.
The first night he came back
Yeah.
against the Celtics from his foot injury, it was
Yeah.
me and my brother who went to the game, and he lit their
He lit 'em
asses
up.
He
Sure
lit
did.
their asses
Yeah,
up.
I
We thought,
remember
oh my God, he's back.
Back, yeah.
3 weeks later, his foot was.
I was at the game where he actually, it was a Sunday game. My buddy and I got there early. He gets on the court, he warms up. Nothing. Didn't play the game.
Who-
Never made it played again. Tony never played again. We knew-
who are the big draws now in the NBA?
Steph
Still
Curry.
LeBron, Steph Curry's a draw.
LeBron,
Giannis.
Giannis, I would say Giannis.
Yeah.
Doncic?
Luka,
Maybe.
Luka. I mean,
Nah, see, it's tough because it's like my C's, man. It's like,
Joker's probably more than Doncic.
well, ever since he
No,
won
I
that
would
title,
rather
think
see
that's
I don't
what
really
he's
see
doing.
it though. Like,
the
like,
Joker's
like,
the
think about-
Joker's game isn't quite as.
like think about like when we talking Jordan, like Jordan's in town, like AI's in town,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
It doesn't have that
he's not
same.
Giannis is though.
Yeah, at any given time, those guys could drop 50. You
Yeah.
know, and take over a game.
Yeah,
and
Giannis can do that.
doesn't matter what you would. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you would throw at them.
Right.
You know,
I would
it's just-
say I would say currently. Okay, you could say Giannis and Curry, maybe Durant, but I don't think so.
No,
not anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I would say one.
I would love to see. I
And
didn't
of
see
course,
Curry, but I'd love
LeBron
to
is
see
always
him
going to
play.
be a draw until he retires. LeBron's so those top three, I would go LeBron, Curry, and Giannis. Those would be the
They're
must.
the guys. They're the
That's
guys.
about it for me, unless I'm missing somebody. Now, forgive me for mispronouncing his name. The kid that just got drafted.
Yeah.
People are just going to go want to see him out of
Wembanyama.
curiosity.
Yeah.
Wembanyama, thank you.
You know he could be another Sean Bradley. You,
I
know
don't
that
know.
he
I
could
doubt
be.
it.
Kid's tall. Kid's tall. Can't teach tall.
So he can't,
you can't teach tall,
he's
but
saying Curry's like a
you know,
guard.
he needs 80 to 100 pounds
Right.
on his frame
He's
before
very
he's
tall.
yeah.
They say he plays like a guard.
Very tall.
You know, he's
4.
look.
Seven-
look,
7'5"
It's
with
my
his
best
shoes.
Jimmy Lineham.
Look. When that kid goes to work, there's a good chance he's going to get snapped in half. And if he
So-
needs a workman's compensation lawyer,
There you go.
since I've forgotten the first go around to get my man David Archerry Esquire in this workman's compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, and criminal law. Call now 610-565-0300 or hop online at www.cherryinjurylaw.com. Tell them the guys at Pattison Ave Phanatics and EOP sent you. Now, I have.
When he plays Embiid,
I was about to say.
Yeah.
he's going
He's
to need
gonna-
that,
Well,
need
so,
that
so,
number,
so,
that information.
so what's the over under that game against Embiid, the game against Jokic, the game against LeBron,
they're
the game against
going to bench him.
Giannis,
Yeah.
and the game against Steph, all are going to be on TNT or ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas Day games. No question.
Absolutely.
Christmas Day games.
Now listen. I want to transition for the last quarter of the show. I want to transition into the Eagles, and I have a Pattison Ave Phanatics trivia question for the
Yeah.
people.
Okie dokie.
Here. All right. Does anybody remember off the top of their head what pissed me off more than anything last year when it came to the Philadelphia Eagles?
P.D. Dallas.
Anybody remember?
Jonathan Gannon?
Anybody remember when?
Oh, no, that was me.
Anybody remember when there was a certain piece of information that I found out that I did not realize that I was fucking devastated? Excuse my language.
Oh,
The Kelly Green jersey.
Yeah.
That's what's happening this season, baby. The
Yeah,
Kelly
Green.
Green jerseys are
Yeah,
finally,
Yes.
yes. And the Kelly Green helmets are coming back.
Yes.
So I have a
Yeah.
question right now
Those
on
are
this panel, and if you answer this the wrong way, I'm going to hit a button, and a trap door is going to open underneath you, and you're going to fall out of the studio.
I'm an old man. I don't bounce anymore, so don't do that to me.
Favorite Eagles.
the floor.
Favorite Eagles jersey. Kelly Green or Midnight or Forest Green, whatever you want to say.
Kelly Green.
Kelly Green.
Oh, the Kelly Green is sweet.
Joe,
I didn't.
Joe Marks, you better be testing the floor.
Black.
What?
I like the
I do not
black-
like the black.
I like the
jerseys.
black
They're
ones.
fun. That's
I
your
like the-
favorite.
I like the black.
All right,
I like the black.
that's-
I'll give you that one.
I do like the black.
I have a couple. Tom, hit the freaking button.
I do
Yeah.
like the blackout jersey.
Yeah,
I'm with
well,
Joey.
you know, if somebody had said like the 1936 baby blue and
No,
yellow.
now hold it.
God,
Now hold it.
no. They're
Those
idiots.
1972, Big Joe and Frank knows it. Those 1972 helmets with the eagle, the wing,
What,
White
the
ones.
white ones.
those are the dope, man.
They're-
The white ones,
No, he's talking about the baby blue and the yellow.
He's talking about the Philadelphia City colors.
Sorry about the F-bomb there. I got really
They
fired
had-
up for a second.
At
there,
one
folks.
point, the Eagles were blue and yellow. They had one game.
Okay.
One game where they
They
played with
played
that. I was at that game. By the
You
way.
were?
It was
Wow.
two. Yeah, I was at that game.
And let me
I
explain.
actually had sideline passes.
No,
for
it
that
was.
game.
Let me explain. I have to apologize because my dad designed those jerseys, but he had a vision problem too.
Yeah.
Really?
It's probably
Wow.
colorblind as well.
Yeah, so he thought they were green
I'm
and
going to
silver.
give away my age. My mom was shocked that I remember this, but I was a little boy and I didn't remember seeing them long. The police cars used to be red.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
They're still red in Ridley Township.
No, in Philadelphia,
I was
they
a
were
little.
red.
They were red. I was a little boy.
Yeah.
But they were weaning out. They were weaning
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Look, I remember that.
Wow. Well, I would have had to call the police if anybody picked anything over the Kelly Green jerseys.
No,
Not that it just
we,
so happens.
we should all get Kelly Green jerseys and not have names on the back. Just put
Pattison Ave
Just put
Phanatics.
Pattison Ave
There you
Phanatics.
go.
No,
A million percent.
no, the
Like
Kelly
a
Green.
million percent. I would bathe in that thing.
Yes.
I would
So-
never take it off.
Was it Lori's
Ever.
first wife that
Yes.
got rid of them?
Christina Laurie.
And you
Yes,
never
sir.
forgave her for it.
No, that's why they're divorced.
No.
Whoa.
Look.
Whoa.
There's good and bad in every
That's why
single
they're
thing.
divorced. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
she got
man.
rid of the Kelly Green
Why?
because she thought
didn't like
Kelly
the
Green
color.
was tacky. However,
Whoa.
on the positive side, because I do pros and cons here, she put the cheerleaders really smoking Vera Wang outfits.
Well, the other thing, yeah, the other thing is TK. She still
Noted.
has a stake in the team. Though. You know she has a stake in the team.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big state. She still does. Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
She's in the box every game.
Whoa, he's a bad boy.
You know that, right?
He's a
Christina's in
bad
the box.
boy.
Christina's in the box every game. No.
That's the second one.
They never pan to Christina because he's with his second wife. Christina is in the box every game.
He's a bad boy. You know what I mean, Joey?
hey, you know,
He's
know
playing
he's a
in the
man.
sandbox
that
with
big
you.
millionaire, multi-billionaire.
He's a
You can
bad
do
boy.
Do whatever you want.
He ain't taking no
What you want.
submarine trips. I can say
Neither
that.
is she.
No,
You know?
no.
She's a billionaire too. She's a billionaire too.
The
I
fact
don't care.
like I couldn't love an owner more, and then they finally are bringing back the Kelly Green.
So is it
jerseys,
for
and I love
every?
them
Is
just
it
a
for
little.
every? Is
No.
it for certain games?
Only? Yeah, it's now another alternate jersey.
Right.
They finally got the approval for the helmets.
Yes. That was the holdup. They couldn't.
It was
they
the
couldn't
holdup.
wear the jersey without putting the helmet on.
Yes.
So now they finally got the approval.
Do you
from-
guys remember when you told me last year that it was no, it's
You were
next
pissed.
season? I
Yeah,
was,
you-
dude. I went
You were
home.
about to walk out of the studio.
No, I found out right towards the end of the show, and I'm
Practice
like,
car for
are
him.
you,
He was gonna
are
pull
you
a Dave.
kidding me? Oh man.
Well, you you
Joe,
know
you-
I got my Reggie White green one.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
now that's a
absolutely.
classic.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, I have the same Reggie one at home.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
miss Reggie. I was mad.
Who
when he left.
doesn't?
I was mad.
Now
with
with the alternate, I want to get a Jordan Davis Kelly Green
Dude,
jersey.
can I ask you?
would
Can I
love to
tell you
get the
guys
Kobe
I
something?
want
Green in there.
my Lotta.
I don't know what jersey to get.
Oh, I want my Lotta.
I'm so torn.
I want my Lotta's number, but I want Pattison Ave Phanatics on the back. Oh, I like that.
See,
I would love to see the Kobe
I'm
Green
going
and Kelly
Hurts.
Green, man.
I'm
Yeah, I
just
think
going
I'm about to
Hurts.
go
The
Hurts.
Hurts one's fine. Have you
Everybody
seen it
does.
yet?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
no.
Yeah,
but
the Kelly Green Hurts.
Have you seen it?
Yes,
Oh.
it's beautiful.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to figure out how
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
put this together.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Well, let me just say this, Joey. We haven't
For the
addressed
start.
this. We haven't addressed this.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
A couple of things. Joey believes that the Cowboys are going to have a better record.
Oh,
And I
we
still,
got 15 minutes left on the program.
and I still
Time
feel
to
like
put somebody's feet to the fire.
it hasn't been correctly addressed. Now,
Joey,
he's entitled to his
have you been
opinion.
drinking with Dave Yarnell?
Yes, he's
He's
entitled.
been buying you beers,
But
hasn't he?
I haven't heard anything that allows me to go, because and guys, forgive me, I have no worries about this. Like things we said about the Sixers, I have questions, but I have no concerns with the Eagles right now.
Zero.
Excuse me. Everyone snuck out.
I have no concerns
Listen,
right now.
I just feel
I just think they're stacked.
I'm not disagreeing with that wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
I just feel like with the defense, and even Brian Dawkins said this. He was on the Gilio and Hugh Douglas show, and he even said this. He's like, this team is going to depend on how quick the defense picks up the schemes and how well they gel together. If they gel together quickly, it's going to be lights out. But
Okay.
if they take a long time to understand the schemes, because even Doc was saying
Mhm.
sometimes people don't realize that defensive schemes
Mhm.
they're very very complicated. They're
Sure they are.
not they're not just like, oh, do this and do no, because if you're like the captain or you're the safety and you're moving people around, he was explaining how Hugh would always do something that was opposite of what people like were written up, what the play was written up as. So he would always kind of, ad lib. And Dawkins would be like, if you're gonna ad lib, at least keep us in the loop, because I can't go to your spot if you're way out here. So my feeling is the same thing as Brian. I feel like if this defense gels right out the gate, if
Mhm.
they are in sync with the scheme and the communication,
Mhm.
I feel like it's going to be lights out.
Okay.
But I feel like because over half of this defense is new to the scheme. Well, the whole defense is new to the scheme because it's a whole new defensive coordinator.
All right, right.
So I honest to God thing is this defensive coordinator is getting to know his team as
Yeah.
much as the team is getting to know themselves.
A lot of it's
valid concern.
A lot of it's going to depend on your Mike linebacker.
A valid
your new Mike
listen,
linebacker.
listen, and that is and I
It's
you know,
valid. I agree.
next to Reggie White, Brian Dawkins is up on that altar for me.
Same.
Mhm.
Okay,
1 and 1A.
but and he focuses specifically on defense, and the Eagles have a lot of talented pieces to play with that defense. But here's the thing: the Eagles are going to outscore everybody, and if it takes the Eagles half a season to gel, it's not going to matter because they're going to be 9-0 or 8-1 come the turn. And it's going to be because they're returning 10 guys on that offense, and they are going to torch teams. They are literally going to torch teams.
Okay.
And they won't be able to keep up with them.
So let real quick to your point. Let me bring something up. You have a mobile quarterback who's very smart, but he's still a mobile quarterback. Who's had some history of injury. How much can you lean on Marcus Mariota to win games if for some reason you don't have Jalen Hurts available?
I don't think he's going to run as much this year.
Yeah, and
He's not going to have to.
No.
Well, that then guess what? I'm not going to have to lean on Marcus Mariota if that's the case.
But let's say in the event
and then you're
that
talking
you do,
game 14, 15, 16 that it's going to be a concern, not game 8.
In
One, two,
the
and
event that you have to lean on Marcus Mariota, can he run this style of offense?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Well,
Would
I
you
don't
have more confidence in him than you did in
In Minshew?
In Minshew?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
absolutely. The other thing I would say, and I'm really interested to see.
I agree. By the way, I'm just asking.
Yeah, couple things off of what Frank said and what Joey said off the defense, and I agree with Joey. The one thing that no one talks about with the defense, I literally thought about it when Joey was talking, was that they weren't penalized a lot. We didn't have a lot of penalties on defense, right?
It's a good reason. for that.
They were really disciplined and sound in what they had to get done. I think that yes, you're turning things over. You're turning the keys over to N'Kobe Dean, and James will get up when I mention his name. In terms of calling, the
Yeah,
defense,
he's got to
right?
die.
He's got to call the defense. I believe the one thing I'm okay with TK with the Eagles is that they're allowing these young guys to learn, like sit a year, if you will. They see things and go, okay, now he's ready to go out to play. So with that said, I believe that the defense, it's going to take a little, some games to get to mess and get
It's
rid
going to
of.
take half a season.
But maybe not, because a lot of these guys are still familiar with one another, right? Sweat's going to take another step. Reddick's going to take another step.
That's scary.
That's a hell of a.
And then
Wow.
That is scary to
and
think
then your
about.
corners, Mayberry and Slay, right? They're familiar with each other. They're only going to get better. So now the concern,
Bradbury, right?
I keep saying Mayberry, Bradbury and Slay. Excuse me. They're going to get better. So you have to look at your linebackers and your safeties, because we still don't know who's going to play that position.
Mayberry was a bad outfielder for the Phillies.
He was, and it was a TV show. But so with that said, I think it'll still be sound.
Yeah.
It'll still be sound enough.
No.
To Frank's point, with the offense playing the way they're playing.
Yeah, they're gonna take teams. They're gonna score so much. They're gonna take teams out of their offensive plans.
I'm curious to see if
which is going to cover a lot of mistakes for the Eagles, because what's going to happen is teams are going to have to throw to stay with the Eagles.
Yeah,
right.
And if they have to throw to stay with the Eagles,
They're going to be in a lot of trouble.
they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
And
They're
I'm
gonna
thinking
be
this
a lot
guy's
of
going to be a
trouble.
little bit more aggressive than your buddy Gannon was.
And look, if they run up against if they run up against a team, up against a team that stops them, then the Eagles are going to have trouble with them early in the season. Because you're right, the defense won't be on the page. The Eagles will be gearing everything they do this season for that stretch of games from game 11 through game 15.
Yeah.
Everything they do this year will be geared for that stretch.
I want to chime in with something that Damon said about the penalties. Looking at what the defense starting lineup is going to look like, there's a lot of youth, and sometimes with youth comes mistakes.
Youths.
Youths.
A lot of youths.
Excitement, energy, nervousness. That's true.
Yeah. So
That's true.
you have them going to possibly create some dumb penalties.
Absolutely.
So that's going to hurt. It's going to gift Rap a lot of yards to the opposing team.
But then again, you still have BG and those guys in there.
No,
that's
I
going
agree.
to make sure.
Well,
Hey,
they don't
guys,
let Barnett back in the game.
Why is he still on the team?
Because he's got a $14
because they
million
like him.
contract.
They like him.
Right, but there's no captain.
He's not. He's not going to survive. He's gone. They're going to cut him, and they're going to put his $14 million to work.
Yeah, for Devontae probably.
Maybe, or maybe a safety.
He's looking at.
And why is this not done? I brought this up last week. Why has this not been done?
I know you are. Yeah, he's with the safety.
Frank, why has this not been done?
Because that's how he plays.
Because I mean, it's this time of the year. There literally is nothing happening, and it's the only time during the year that nothing happens in the NFL. They're all in tropical islands.
Dude, Howie's in Maui right now with a cigar.
Yeah, they're resting up. They've done the OTAs. The draft is over. Nobody makes deals now. It won't happen until training camp, and that's when it's going to happen.
They're going to need the rest. They played the last game of the season.
He's in Maui with a cigar.
Yeah, they're all getting
waves.
they're all getting hot stone massages, and they're sucking.
Oh yeah, definitely he's
Pina
partying.
coladas.
Good.
Yeah, he's
enjoy the time off.
Yeah, Howie, happy birthday, Howie.
So
Howie and Jim Curtin.
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Joey's not. I don't. Am I
what's
missing something?
Why are you shaking your head?
Yeah, am I missing
Yeah, I'm
something?
confused.
Yeah. Talk to him.
You look like the
What
Rocky.
the heck is your problem,
You
Joe?
look like the Rocky Balboa bobblehead.
I don't know. Dave's been texting you on the quiet, like talk to us.
Pop.
That
That's
is,
not a bobbler.
Dave's been texting you on the quiet, and you
no.
like talk to us.
No,
That's why we're here, brother. We're here to rap.
Let
Let's
it
talk.
out, Joe.
listen. I am of the opinion.
Okay.
I am of the opinion
out,
that I
Joe.
feel like the offense can carry us most of the way, and I agree with Frank in that. I also believe, though, Frank is discounting that first 9 games, thinking that it's so very easy to go 8-1 and 9-0.
No,
in
it's
the
not.
NFL.
It's not that I think
Smoking
it's
'em.
that easy. I don't think
Smoking
there's no such thing as an easy game in the NFL, even if you're playing a bad team.
Right.
But what does beat teams in the NFL is teams that have been playing together for a long period of time.
Yes.
And this offense, it's their 3rd year together.
Yes.
And they have returned 10 starters.
Yep.
And that continuity is devastating to any team that they're playing, because how many teams are they playing defensively this year in the first 8 games that are returning 10 starters on defense?
This is the first time Hurt's been in the same system for 3 years since high school.
Yeah. And
they are not playing one team who's returning 10 starters on defense.
And his offensive coordinator was
until
his
they get to that 11-game mark.
And now I'm going to go the other side. Dallas has the same kind of continuity on offense.
Your boy Zeke's gone. Zeke's gone.
I don't think Zeke. I mean, I'm
Zeke's
more worried about
anyone.
I'm more worried
hasn't
about
signed.
Pollard.
Pollard hasn't signed.
I'm not worried about Pollard.
Pollard hasn't signed. Zeke
either.
is gone. The Dallas offense is look. The Dallas Cowboys are an extremely good football team.
You got a linebacker
There's
that wants to
no
be an
two-
Eagle for the Cowboys. Think about
there's
that.
Micah Parsons.
Michael Parsons wants to be an Eagle. Let's get it off the
Micah
table.
Parsons is the second coming.
You hear that one, Dave? He wants to be an Eagle.
I mean,
I had to go there, Jay.
Christ,
That's for you, Joe.
wouldn't you if you were on the Cowboys? I mean, look at the Eagles' success over the last, I don't know, 20 years compared to the Cowboys.
But hold it.
This is
But
Mike
TK,
they're never
all
gonna-
the years that you follow football,
Poor Dave's not even on the show anymore. People are taking shots at him.
I saw it.
No.
You've never seen an Eagle. I mean, we've seen Eagles become Cowboys, unfortunately.
But you never seen an Eagle like fanboy over the Cowboys like
Never.
Parsons.
God,
Well, not
Never.
he'd get run out of the town with pitchforks.
Yeah.
By the way, Joey almost ran off the show when he said what he said last week about the Cowboys.
No, I'm a fanboy for Micah Parsons.
Dude, if he Eagle,
I'll drive down to Texas and pick him up myself.
We'll give him one of our 3
I have much
first-round
respect.
picks.
I have much respect for that player.
Dude,
much respect.
if he comes to the defense next to Kobe, are you kidding me?
Oh my God!
Wait,
Oh
on
my
the other side of the
God.
line from Reddick.
My
Oh,
God!
God.
oh,
It's over.
And Nolan Smith.
Good.
It's over.
Great.
It's over.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
over. It's
yeah.
over.
yeah. I don't want to.
San Francisco could just crawl into a hole and die.
Let me be clear
They
too.
could do that anyway.
I know.
That if the Eagles defense and this is where I agree with Brian Dawkins, if this Eagles defense gels quickly,
Yeah.
it's lights out.
The league's on
Yeah.
notice.
It's lights out
Yeah.
because what offense is going to be able to go against a team like that?
Dude, with Hurts's football acumen, being in the same system for now
3 years.
that is huge.
Yep.
Huge. And being behind pretty much the same line minus Sayamalu, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being behind the same line.
But I believe the guys that are going to outside of Jack Driscoll, I believe the people that
That's what I was
are
gonna
going
ask.
to
You guys aren't high on Driscoll?
I think Cam Jurgens is gonna
I think
make a
Jurgens
huge
Jurgens
push
might be
to be
better
a starter.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
I think George is going to win the spot,
I think
I
Driscoll
have
is
a feeling you're right on that.
and I think just Driscoll is a jack.
How about the kid they just drafted from
he's-
Arkansas?
I love that kid.
that
Steve?
kid is going to be
He
good.
does have T-Rex arms though.
You gotta give him time. You gotta give him time at the Statland University.
Yeah,
Yes.
you gotta give him some time.
That's why
Jeff
he'll-
Statler University.
he will be a guard. He will be a guard his entire life because he's got the.
You know what I would have liked to have seen? I would like to have seen the Eagles bring in the D coordinator from that Georgia championship.
Oh, yeah.
They talked to him.
Did
Oh,
they?
yeah,
Did
they
they?
talked
Okay,
to him.
okay.
Yeah, that's real. They talked to him.
They
He's not-
attempted
They
to.
talked to him.
He's not the same philosophy as Sirius.
And
Right.
what happens
Okay.
is those guys get settled, man. They just go, you know what? I don't want to deal with that post stuff.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I bet
a different atmosphere.
you know what I bet that meeting was about? How do I make these guys tick?
Yeah.
That's what that meeting was.
Well, yeah, it's about
But
okay.
the offer was out there. Though.
I need to get in their heads
Yeah, how
so
do
I can best get the best
let
out
me,
of them.
Here's a check. Tell me how I get in their heads.
Yeah, it was more like a mean
Consultant, yeah, basically a
It's
consultant.
exactly what they did.
So we only have 3 1:00 games, which I'm disappointed in. I'm a 1 o'clock.
They have the max amount of pride.
Great,
games.
great.
I don't like
Great.
prime
That
time.
means
I
I'm
don't- I
going
don't.
to be sauced by the start of
Yeah,
every game.
I don't like it. I don't like Monday Night Football for us. I don't like. I'll deal with a 4 o'clock. I don't care for the
You're
Sunday
going to
night
get Sunday night
Dude,
game. You're going
I
to get
know, I'm
Thursday
looking
night.
at
game.
schedule.
Frank, those 4 o'clock games, I'm at Marty McGee's at 11:55 waiting for. Well, Michelle used to be the Sunday bartender.
Yeah.
She's not there anymore, but I'd be waiting for Michelle to
I
open
love
the
Michelle.
doors.
Michelle's awesome.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
great people.
So when I lived in
I
California,
love all the bartenders there.
Me
Dee Dee,
too.
Tara,
the
they're
games
great.
were
They're great
the games
girls.
were 10 o'clock in the morning, man, because it was 3-hour time difference. And we went to this
It
sports
wasn't
bar. It
cute.
was the Eagles bar. It was the Eagles. It was called Eagles Nest, and we had our own section, bunch of Eagle
Nice.
fans, man. And it
Nice.
was, it was sweet to get nice sauced up in the morning on the Sunday.
Dude,
That's when I had tickets. I mean, it was our tailgate was we would start by cooking breakfast at 9
There,
a.m.
there was a bar.
Kegs and eggs, man.
Yeah.
Kegs and
There,
eggs.
there was a bar down in Old City called Lucy's, and you would pay $30 at the door, and it was all you could eat, all you could drink
Nice.
for
Sweet.
both games, the 1 o'clock and the
Nice.
4:30.
They would lose money if I was at that place.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
You
The
had
first hour, I'm 30
You know,
beers.
Well, hence why they're
First hour, 30
closed.
You
beers.
know who would-
$30
you know who
worth of
makes-
beers.
You know who makes a
First
fortune
hour.
there is Uber.
easy.
Uber
Easy.
makes a fortune there because
Yes.
you are not leaving
You're not
sober.
leaving
No, I like
so,
this.
so let's play the quick if we can. Win-loss. I'll do 6
Okay.
games. At New England, first game.
Oh, that's a win.
Ooh, versus Minnesota.
Win.
Prime time. At Tampa
Win.
versus Washington.
Win.
At
Close.
Wait a
We'll be
second. Wait a
close.
second. If they're going to lose a game in the first half, it's going to be against the Commanders.
But that's a
They're
home
not
game.
going to let the same
That's
thing
a
that happened.
home
to
game.
They're not going to let the same thing that happened to them last year happen.
That's a
this year.
home game.
No.
At Los Angeles Raiders.
Win.
Jets.
Win.
Miami.
But that's at home.
That's
your-
going to be a high scoring one.
Yeah, but no, they're going to
That
outscore them.
depends
Yeah.
on Tua if he's playing that game.
This sucks. At
No, it
Washington.
doesn't. Yeah, that's a win.
And then versus Dallas at home.
That's a win.
That's a smash.
So you got us 9-0.
Yeah, 9-0. And
Tell me.
I said 9-0.
I'm not even-
8-1.
and then we get our bye week. I'm not even gonna go after the bye. So hold on. So let me, I can't, Joey. I can't. On paper, I mean, things happen. I can't see a loss. I'm literally, Joey. I'm looking for one.
And you know why you can't see a loss? The only team that matches them defensively in that whole lineup is the Cowboys.
Yep.
Now the Dolphins.
Dolphins
Well,
do
here's
not
the-
have the defensive line to match the
No,
Eagles.
they don't
the
have
thing.
this.
But they have the secondary.
Yeah, but
That's
guess
fine,
what?
that's fine.
If you got all the time in the world, you throw underneath that secondary, they're going to
Yep.
win.
And
They're
you're
gonna beat that team.
throwing a Swift out of the backfield.
And it all
Goddard will
depends-
have a big day.
And it all depends on.
Now,
if
they do
Tyreek
have the
Hill's
wide
gonna be playing
receivers
in
to
that
stay
game.
with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's got
that's
a-
going to be a fun
Tyreek
game to
Hill
watch.
got
And
arrested
Dalvin
during
Cook
the week.
too.
They're going
For
to.
like-
Are they Cook signed with
For
him?
battery.
Dalvin Cook signed with the Dolphins.
Yeah, Cook
No,
signed
no,
with the
Tyreek
Dolphins,
Hill.
didn't he?
Oh yeah, I just saw that Tyreek Hill got into some trouble.
Yeah.
Did he?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, again.
No, but Dalvin Cook signed with the Dolphins, right?
Did he really?
I didn't
think
hear
so.
that.
I
I know
think
that.
so. Yeah, because Minnesota cut him. Yeah.
So I mean, here's my
I know
thing.
Minnesota cut it up. I didn't know.
Frank's got them at 9-0
Or 8-1.
Yeah.
or 8-1.
They could possibly lose the Commanders game.
I feel like
Could be.
I feel like they could walk out of that 9 games 6-3.
What if they lose against New England first game of the season?
No, you know how they're going to win that game.
I think he's still free agent. But there's been a lot of talk of him
You
going.
know how they're going to win that game? That's the night that they're retiring Brady's number.
Brady's number.
And Nick Foles
Nick Foles should be
honorary
the captain. That's right. He should
Thank
be
you.
the captain.
Oh, yeah.
Walk out on the field for the coin toss.
No,
Wait a minute,
Brandon Graham strips
That's
him again.
in New England, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, they
1 o'clock.
yeah.
No, 4:25.
It's the 425 game.
And hopefully Eli's in the house for that game.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Get the old demons.
Yes.
Justin Tuck.
No, well,
And Brandon
they're not in a position to beat a team like the Eagles. They're just not.
No.
See, I think like Frank said, so I think the Dolphins could be a tough game. I think the
Yeah.
Commanders we split. So and then I think that Cowboys game is a loss.
Who's Tampa's quarterback?
Who is Tampa?
Trask.
Baker. Was it Baker Mayfield? Bacon.
Bacon.
Baker Mayfield.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon
Bacon
It
Mayfield.
might be Bacon Mayfield.
I'm a
Clay Bacon.
All right.
Now, so after the bye, though, we have Kansas City.
Here comes the gauntlet. This is the gauntlet.
Yeah, this is brutal.
Yeah.
KC,
Right.
That's a win.
Buffalo,
That's a loss.
That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Frisco.
That is a win. It's not only a win.
It's a
It's
beat
slaughtering.
they're
Because of all the
down.
They're
smack
gonna
they were
beat-
talking.
they're going to beat the snot out of that
Yeah,
team.
beat the brakes right off.
At
And
Dallas.
Sirianni is smart. He's putting all those clippings, all
I would.
those
Oh, yeah.
tweets
Yep.
up on the board.
I would.
So at Dallas,
That's a
Win.
loss.
at Seattle,
That's a loss. That's a sandwich.
home
game.
against the
Yeah,
Giants.
yeah, I'll take
Yes.
a loss there.
Home-
Win
home-
against the
But you know,
Giants.
Win
Smith,
against
though,
the
I think
Giants.
that's a win.
Arizona, and then the Giants.
Oh, they're gonna
Win.
smash Arizona.
Yeah, they're going to.
Oh,
But at that
yeah.
point, we have everything locked up. You know how it
in
goes,
my-
TK. Everything
I
All them
haven't-
Mariota's running.
I
off.
haven't yet. Since I've lost my vision, I haven't
Giants
been
might
to a
win the last
live
game.
sporting event.
Yeah.
But I might want to go to that Arizona game just so I can give that piece of.
I'll push your wheelchair. We'll get our seats upgraded.
Dude, that's the next.
Or if we want to live dangerously, I'll sit in a wheelchair and you
That's
can
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve. That's a New Year's
Why are
Eve
they doing
game.
that to that guy?
Oh,
New Year's
They
Wait
Eve.
a
put him
minute.
on New Year's Eve, TK.
the Arizona game's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Shots.
What the
explosive, whatever the hell he
Oh.
said.
Yeah.
They're also
Yeah.
playing Christmas Eve
I hate what he said. That.
or Christmas Day against the Cowboys, right?
I'm
Giants.
just saying.
Giants.
I will give
Wait, we
him-
got a Christmas Day and a New Year's Eve game this
Yeah.
year?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sixers play Christmas Day.
What?
Really?
Sixers make Christmas Day.
Oh wow.
Really?
I didn't
I,
hear
I
that.
believe so.
Oh boy.
Well, you know what that is. That's
I'm thinking of last year, but they'll make Christmas Day.
you know what that
They'll
is.
make Christmas Day.
Okay. Embiid got the MVP. I guess we
Yeah.
have to put the
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah,
on-
buddy.
Because they made
Okay,
Christmas Day
team.
last year. They made Christmas Day last year.
Oh,
They'll
they,
make it.
yeah, they did. But the previous 5 years, they were shut out.
But Denver, because Denver made the prime
But
time.
Denver
Christmas Day
Denver
game.
always makes Christmas Day or night. They'll put the night.
That's-
The
yeah,
night
it's a
game.
late
Yeah,
game.
it could be,
It's a late
the-
game. All the West
Word.
Coast teams.
All right,
That's just-
boys. Well, listen,
Yeah.
we can we can talk this stuff all day, but that's going to be it for this show. For Joe Marks, for James Scorza, Damon Salim, Frank Finnegan, and Joe Scorza in studio. I'm Tom Kelly. This is Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. We're out of here.
Jonathan,
Kelly
I'm
Green.
coming for you.